Hi everyone, I'm Anna Smith with scrappingstampingandstuff.com, and I'm here to show you another cool card today. This is a Christmas card that I made not too long ago, and I'll move it around a little bit here so hopefully you can see that beautiful gold embossing on the front. And I also want to show it to you this way. It is a hanging wreath card. So this little wreath is an ornament that you can actually remove. And it hangs here in the card, which I think is really cool. So you can set it up and display it like that. So let's go ahead and get started, and you can see how I made this. First, I started with a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11. This was an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, piece of cardstock that I cut in half lengthwise. So it's 4 1/4 by 11. Scored it here in the middle at 5.5, and then I did already go ahead and crease this real quick. I did already go ahead and cut this piece out using our Deco Labels framelit set, and I used this next to the largest die to cut this out. So that is already done. The next thing I want to do is stamp and emboss my greeting down here in the bottom with the gold embossing powder. And I'll show you here, this is the stamp set I'm using and the coordinating dies. The stamp set is called Wondrous Wreath, and then the Wonderful Wreath framelits that you can get that coordinate as well. So the greeting says, "Happy Wonderful Christmas." I'm going to stamp it with Versamark. Sprinkle the gold embossing powder over it. Don't worry about using too much because all the extra just goes right back in to the little jar. Now we'll heat this up until that powder melts. All right, now give that a couple of seconds to cool off, and it looks like it bubbled up my paper here. Give it a couple of seconds to cool off. Next, we are going to emboss the front of this using this embossing folder, and I'm not going to guess what it's called because I don't remember. I'll have my product list at the end where you can see everything that I used here. So just put the front half in the embossing folder, and now I will run that through Big Shot. And we have that beautiful texture on the front. Next thing I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and prepare to hang the wreath. Then we just have to make the wreath. I'm using I think this is the 1/8 inch hole punch, circle punch, to punch 2 little holes right there, and that is where our string will go through. And just for fun, we can go ahead and put it through right now. This is our gold cording that is part of the holiday catalog right now. I've been using this for all kinds of stuff. So bring that through to the front, and now we just need to make our wreath to hang from that. So I'm going to be stamping the wreath onto some very vanilla cardstock. The first, I'm actually going to make 2 of these. I'll show you this, both sides of it. Here's the front, I flip it over, and there's another one on the back. So that way it can actually be an ornament for your tree. So I'm going to stamp 2 of these and put them together. This color I'm using is Tip Top Taupe. And these little pieces that stick up from the tops of these stamps, I always try and keep that at the top. If you keep it at the top here, then you line up your other stamps with that piece at the top as well. Everything, all the leaves should match up, and the berries. So that piece doesn't necessarily stamp. Sometimes it will stamp, but you don't worry about it because you can cut it off. But if you keep it at the top, or the bottom, wherever you keep it, just remember that you need to keep them all in that same place. Okay, so there is the first step. Next, I am going to stamp the berries with cherry cobbler. So here I'm going to keep that little knob up at the top. So go ahead and stamp those berries. And now do the same thing on this other one over here. And now I want to make sure this ink is dried before I stamp. The next step I'm going to do the gold embossing on. So I'm going to use my heat tool real quick just to make sure this is all nice and dry. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is stamp the third stamp, the one with just a few leaves on it, on top of these with Versamark ink. And then I am going to sprinkle the gold embossing powder over these areas, so that I have just a few gold leaves. So shake off the extra. Now I'll heat this up and heat set that powder. Okay, now we need to take these and use the Wonderful Wreath dies to run them through the Big Shot and cut them out. And I'm using my magnetic platform, which makes it really helpful to hold these dies in place. Now, these should still line up at the top, these little extra marks. Which the top was here when I started this. So I'll crank this through and cut out that first one. All right. So now we are going to attach these together back to back using some dimensionals. And when we do this, we're also going to be attaching it in to hang on this little gold cord. And right now I am going to knot the end of this cord. And I want the knot to hang down. This knot is going to be trapped in some dimensionals between these two pieces. So I want that knot to hang down maybe 3/4 of an inch from the top of the cutout here in the card. Maybe about 1 inch from where the holes are. And then I want to cut the ends off. I'll start putting a couple of dimensionals on the back side of one of these. You're going to put 2 side by side, and that is where that little knot is going to go, right between those. And then a couple of others. Take the backing off of this. And get that knot right down in there. And then place this one on top. And they're not going to line up exactly, which I kind of like it that way. So you see a little bit of the leaves sticking out from the back side that don't match up perfectly with the front side, but I like that. All right, now let's put this cardstock on the inside. This measures 4 by 5 1/4. It's very vanilla in color, and I did not stamp a single thing on this. I wanted it to be plain, showing through from the front, and I just decided you have your greeting on the front, and you're going to need a place to sign on the inside, so you can sign down here, and I just decided to leave it all plain on the inside. And the last thing is to add the little bow with the gold cording up here at the top. A little bit of glue. So there you have it, some cute little Christmas cards that are really nice ones to set up and display because you have your cute little hanging wreath in them. So thanks for watching. Check out my other videos, my blog at scrappingstampingandstuff.com, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any ideas or if you would like to see a catalog. Thanks.